This happened about 2 years ago. I work a logistics job out of Roanoke, Virginia, and hadn't taken a real vacation in close to 4 years. My manager finally told me to use my PTO or lose it. So I blocked off 5 days in late October and found a cabin rental in the West Virginia mountains. 1 bedroom, wood stove, a small deck that backed up against the tree line. The listing said the property sat on 12 private acres, 7 miles off Route 39, with the nearest neighbor well over a mile away. That was the whole point. I wanted total isolation. I arrived Thursday afternoon, just as the light was dropping through the ridgeline. The host had texted me the lockbox code. No one there to meet me, just the cabin and the cold mountain air. I got a fire going in the wood stove, brought my bags in, made dinner, and within the first hour felt every month of that last year start to come loose. The quiet in those mountains is a different kind of quiet. It has actual weight to it. Around 7, I stepped out onto the deck to eat. Full dark by then. The trees were solid black in every direction, the ridge above me just a darker shape against the sky. I stood there for a while after I finished, not doing anything, just listening. That's when I heard the footsteps on the far end of the porch. 3 slow, deliberate steps, heavy enough to press into the boards and make them creak. Then nothing. I looked toward the far end. The porch light only reached halfway. I waited for another sound, but the woods had gone completely still in that particular way they do when something is out there. After a long minute, I walked to the edge and shone my phone flashlight into the tree line. Nothing, just black trunks going back into the mountain. I told myself it was a deer. The deck sat right at ground level, right up against the trees. Animals passed through all the time up here. I went inside, locked the door behind me, and let it go. Before I continue, if you're new here, everything on this channel comes from real accounts from real people. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the other 2 stories in this video. Because what I woke up to that night is the part that still doesn't leave me. I got into bed around 10. The fire had dropped to coals. I was asleep fast. I woke up at 2:17 in the morning. I remember the exact time because I checked my phone immediately. Something was moving directly beneath the floorboards. Not skittering, not the small, frantic sounds of a trapped animal. This was slow and deliberate. A dragging sound, like something large shifting its weight and repositioning itself. I knew the crawl space was there. I'd noticed the vented panels running along the foundation when I parked. The clearance down there was maybe 2 feet of packed dirt. I sat completely still in that bed for almost 2 minutes, just listening. It stopped. I got up, put my boots on, grabbed my flashlight, and went around to the side of the cabin. The crawl space vent cover had been removed. It was leaning neatly against the foundation wall, not knocked loose, not knocked aside, placed there, deliberately set against the wood like someone had taken it off carefully and didn't want it to make noise. I crouched down and shone the light into the gap. Dirt floor, old joists disappearing into the dark. I couldn't see far enough in. I stood back up and told myself it had to be a groundhog, something that had worked the panel loose over time. I went back inside and locked the back door. I stood in the kitchen trying to convince myself of that. That's when the door handle moved. One hard pull from outside. Then silence. I looked through the glass in the door. At the edge of the tree line, 30 feet out, a figure was standing completely still, facing the cabin, facing me. They weren't hiding. They were partially behind a tree, but positioned like someone who wanted to be seen. Like they had been out there for a while and had made a decision to let me know. I didn't speak. I didn't move. I just stood there and looked at them. After what felt like a full minute, they took one step back into the trees, and then they were gone. I grabbed my keys and drove out at 2:30 in the morning. Didn't pack a single thing. I filed a report the next morning, and 2 officers drove back out to the property. They called me about an hour later. The crawlspace vent had been removed from the inside, fresh scratch marks on the framing where the panel sat. And pushed back behind one of the support beams, food wrappers, a water bottle, folded clothing, evidence that someone had been staying under that cabin, not just that night. The officers estimated several days, minimum. They never identified who it was. What I still can't shake, 2 years out, is knowing they were there that entire first night, while I cooked dinner, while I stood on that deck listening to the silence I'd driven 3 hours to find, while I was lying in that bed believing I was completely alone, 6 inches of floorboard between us.